Hey, this is GemmyD's on Cars.
Hey everybody, this is Dan for GemmyD on Cars, and today's topic is something that a lot of people might not think they could afford or have, but it's something that my father-in-law here, HR, has in his car. It is a 4-post lift in his garage. He has a 2-car garage, but they have 3 vehicles because they have a car that they tow with their motorhome right there. So he had, I don't want to say a problem, but he had 3 vehicles and 2 garages. So instead of spending lots more money to have a 3rd garage bay, he got this 4-post lift, which is from Lifts Plus Depot out of a year and a half ago. This was $2,600, so relatively cheap for what it is. So HR is going to talk about the stats here.
I put the lift in, again, as Dan said, to take care of my problem with not having a 3-car garage. Because when I built this house, the lot did not allow me to do that, size-wise. Plus the garage would have cost me about $13,000 additional, even if I put it on. So I did this really relatively inexpensive. I had a couple come up from Fredericksburg, Virginia, and they installed it, delivered it, everything for about $2,600 a year and a half ago. The lift plugs into a 110 20 amp circuit. And the lift is hydraulic. It runs off of cables underneath the rails that you drive on. The lift is not bolted down to the floor. It does not have to be. You can if you want. It has a series of stops so that you can bring the lift up about 8 inches off the floor and lock it in place, or you can take it all the way to the top, which is approximately 6 foot underneath the bottom of the rail, because when I have this car on top of another vehicle, I can actually walk under the lift. The lift will support, I think it's 5,000 pounds, so it's more than enough for home use. Again, I use it for storage and for some light maintenance work. It does have drip trays to catch any oil that might drip onto another car below, and it also has a jacking tray, which is a solid steel tray where you could take a small jack and actually lift a wheel up while it's on the lift. And that way you can lift up a wheel and take a wheel off if you wanted to. This is not a totally lift that you want to do a lot of service work on. Again, the wheels do not hang. The wheels are on rails. I'll demonstrate how I put it up and how it locks in position. All I do is I just hit the start button here, and you'll hear the motor, which starts the hydraulic pump, and it starts to lift the lift up. You'll hear a clicking sound here in a second. That's where it's actually going past the stop locks. And if I wanted to stop the lift, then I would take it at the time I hear that sound. And you'll hear that right here. That was the first lift. Now, I'm going to take it up another one, and you'll hear it click into place. It doesn't click into place, it just clicks where the next stop is. So I'll go 3 stops, and then I'll show you how I lock it into position. Again, holding the button up the whole time. Now that it's up above the lock and you heard it click, all I do is I hit the release lever to let the fluid out, and now it settles down on all 4 of its locks. Dan can walk back here and see where it locks into position right in here. So it's very, very safe to get underneath. I also always check that all 4 locks are in position visually before I go walking under it, even though I hear them lock in place. To continue, you just push the start button and it'll continue on up. Now if I want to lower it all the way back to the floor, I have to hang on to the handle, otherwise it will stop in the locks. So I push down the lever and just push down on the release, and it'll continue. If I don't and let go here, it will stop at the next lock. So that's not what I wanted to accomplish. I wanted to take it all the way to the floor. Again, if I forgot to do that, I then again have to lift it up and get it off the locks, push it down, and carry it all the way down.
By the way, I didn't mention there's a beautiful 2004 Chevy Corvette convertible. He's a big Corvette guy. How many Corvettes have you had?
Oh, I guess a half a dozen.
Yeah. So that's maybe we can go for a ride in that someday. Yeah. The other thing, when you put the car down, it has these ramps down here that get it from the lift itself to the ground, and it's just a metal thing. It has a little lip right here that you attach in right there and just fits nicely in. And you have to do that on both sides, obviously. He has these nice little pads on the bottom just so it's not metal scraping on his concrete garage.
You can leave the ramps on with the lift in the up position, but I don't suggest it. They're terrible head knockers, and
Yeah.
you'll forget they're there. So when I put it up, I always take them off.
Yeah, and the other thing, for this to work, like I asked him, like, would this work in my garage? By the way, I did a walking montage up here because my in-laws live in the same neighborhood as us, so my house is right down that way. So the one thing that he had to get is a garage motor that is on the side of the house. It's a side mount garage. Now my garage, and like any other garages people have, are right above where you would park. But so he had to get those out of the way. That would be up there somewhere. So he has the side mount garage lift, and he backs in the Corvette in the lift because if it was front end, the top of the roof would hit the garage door. So, and that makes it easier to, exit the lift too. So he had to have the side garage thing. They had to perfectly place out the lifts, or the 4 posts. And he has a marker right here where he puts the middle of the wheel, so that's where he knows to stop. Like you said before, this is the reservoir for the hydraulic oil, and he plugs in, in the standard 110 volt plug, and that's all you really need. He's raising it up the whole way. Like I said, he backs it in, so then the top of the Corvette is not hitting the garage door right there. So when he has the Corvette in the up position, he puts the tracker below that and stores it right here, and his wife's car is over in this garage. So we can take a look underneath. These are the drip trays that he was talking about. They slide up and down. There's one over here and here, and this is the oh yeah, that's the third drip tray, and this is the jack one that he was talking about. Now, like you said about not fully working on the car, when you take your car to a lift, it picks it up in the middle of the car, so you have access to all 4 of the wheels. But on this one, it's just mainly for storage, so you couldn't really, mess with the wheels and tires or put new brakes in or anything. But I mean, I'm 6 feet tall. I'm standing below this. Obviously, the rails are right here, but you can easily fit a normal car into here. His tracker is pretty tall, we were saying, so he had to, calculate how tall it was to make sure this could work. But
you don't have to store a car at this height, but I do. I could actually bring it down probably 1 or 2 notches, but I like it at this height because I want to walk under it when I get into garden tractors out and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, he has his tractors and all your typical garage stuff in here.
You can see here too where this is on, where we left one of the
oh yeah,
ramps on, but this thing will
oh man, that would smack you right in the head.
So I do not advise leaving them in this position.
Yeah, that just slides in right there like I showed earlier. So it's pretty cool. I mean, essentially he saved over $10,000 not having to put a third garage bay in his, in the house that he built and in the garage. So it kind of.
Plus it allows me to do oil changes and just check for leaks and do any light maintenance that I need to do underneath any of the vehicles that we own. I can even put my garden tractor up here and take the blades off of it. So there's a lot of things you can use it for, really and truly, besides a car. You actually could put a boat on it if you wanted to and store your boat there for the winter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good investment for $2,600. I also get a lot of people stopping and saying, "Have you got a lift in your garage?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's a conversation piece, and if you know him, he'll talk to anybody. One other thing I wanted to mention, he said that there are wheels that you could put on each of the 4 posts, and they're huge, heavy-duty wheels. So you could, I mean, if you had a warehouse or something of that, you could push this thing around with your car above it. So that's another, ease of use if you had a bigger space and you had a bunch of cars that you need to move around, or not even without moving the car, you could still move it around with the wheels. He doesn't really use those, obviously, because this garage is meant for 2 cars and he doesn't move them around very often, but it's just something else that came with the package that could be used. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. I don't know anybody else that has a lift in their house. So, yep, there's the vet there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty cool. Once again, the website or the company is called Lifts Plus, liftsplusdepot.com. I can put a link in the description below. So yeah, this is it. Pretty cool.
They put in 13 of these a week, I was told.
Wow.
The fellow's name is Sean Coleman, and he and his wife actually install these. But they put a lot of these in. He's got them priced right, and they're in and out of here in about 2.5, 3 hours, and it's all done.
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, that's quite a company. You said how many a week?
I think they put 13 a week, he was telling me.
Wow,
They put a lot of these in.
Big bucks.
They do the whole East Coast.
Yeah, he's got all the stickers, Corvette memorabilia, Super Chevrolet service, Corvette parking only.
Few of my cars.
Yeah, if you can't tell, he's a Corvette guy. So if this is the first time you're seeing my channel, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. See ya. Okay, here's how you know HR is a true Corvette fan. He has a miniature 4-post lift in with all his Corvette memorabilia. Look at this. It's a light. He's awesome.